Hello students, today we are going to study about comparison of adjectives. Now adjectives can be compared on two bases. One is regular comparison and the other is irregular comparison. Now regular comparison has 3 degrees of comparison formed from the positive adjective itself, whereas irregular comparison, here the degrees of comparison are compared irregularly, that is they are not formed from the positive adjective itself. Now, regular comparison, the positive degree of an adjective in its simple form. It is used when no comparison is made. It is used only to denote the mere existence of some quality of what we speak about. Now, the degrees of comparison. There are 3 degrees of comparison: positive degree, comparative degree, and superlative degree. Now let's take an example. Raja's mango is sweet. Ramu's mango is sweeter than Raja's. Hari's mango is the sweetest of all. So in the first sentence, Raja's mango is sweet. There is no comparison of the positive adjective sweet. In the second sentence, it is a comparative comparison where Ramu's mango is sweeter than Raja's. So here we are comparing whose mango is sweeter, Ramu's or Raja's. Now in the third example, Hari's mango is the sweetest of all. That means we are not just comparing mangoes of two people. We are comparing of a more plural number of people whose mangoes is the sweetest. We have to find out. So the statement says that Hari's mango is the sweetest of all. This is the superlative form of comparison of the adjective. Next, formation of comparative and superlative. Most adjectives of one syllable form the comparative by adding er, the superlative by adding est. Now where do we have to add this er and est to? We have to add it to the positive adjective itself. Now let us see a few examples. Positive adjective, it's comparative and it's superlative. The positive great becomes greater and superlative becomes greatest. Positive of small, the comparative is smaller and the superlative is smallest. The positive of bold, the comparative is bolder and the superlative is boldest. Now this is when adjectives of one syllable are done. Second, when the positive ends in e, only r and st are added. Now there are some adjectives, the positive of which ends in e, like brave, able, noble. All these 3 positive adjectives are ending in e. So these kind of adjectives which end in e, the comparative and the superlative, what do we add to them? We add a r and a st. So brave becomes braver, bravest, able becomes abler, ablest, noble becomes nobler, noblest. Next, now when the positive ends in y, when the positive ends in y preceded by a consonant. Now what do you mean by preceded? Means coming before. So when the positive adjective ends in y preceded by a consonant, the y is changed into I before adding er and est. That means if we take the positive adjective happy, in which the positive is ending in y and it is preceded by a consonant. Consonant means P, which is not a vowel, any consonant. The positive which ends in y preceded by a consonant will give you happier and happiest for happy. That means y becomes IER in the comparative and y becomes IEST in the superlative. Next, merry becomes merrier, merriest. Now when the positive is a word of one syllable and ends in a single consonant preceded, again coming before. By a short vowel, this consonant is doubled before adding er and est. That means, as you can see, the positive adjective red. Now, when the positive is a word of one syllable, it is only one syllable and ends in a single consonant. Take the example of red. It is ending in a single consonant. It is preceded, that means before D is coming a short vowel. What are vowels? A, E, I, O, U. So if this single consonant is preceded by a short vowel, this consonant is doubled. That means this D becomes double before adding the ER and the EST. So red becomes redder, reddest, sad becomes sadder, saddest. Now, adjectives of more than two syllables form degrees by putting more and most before the positive. More than two syllables means beautiful. What are the two syllables here? One is beauty and the other is full. So, adjectives of more than two syllables will form degrees by putting more and most before the positive adjective. So, beautiful becomes more beautiful in comparative and most beautiful in superlative. Next, taking another example, industrious becomes more industrious and most industrious. Next, a very important thing to understand is two syllable adjectives like ending in. There are few examples of two syllable adjectives like which end in full, like useful, beautiful, less, hopeless, ing, boring, ed, surprised. So these are two syllable adjectives. Now when we compare two qualities in the same person or thing, the comparative in R is not used. That means, let us take an example. The courage of Rama is greater than his prudence. So what does the sentence say? When we compare two qualities in the same person or thing. Who is the same person here? Rama. What are the two qualities being compared? Courage and prudence. So in such a case where there are two qualities of the same person, the comparative in ER is not used, but the sentence becomes Rama, which is the person, is more brave than prudent. Now, when two objects are compared with each other, the latter term of comparison must exclude the former. As an example, if iron is more useful than any other metal. Now, iron, like any other, is a metal. Now, this can be transformed into iron is more useful than any metal. Now we will do a few examples on irregular comparison. Now, irregular comparison, again positive, comparative and superlative. So good and well becomes better, best. Bad, evil, ill becomes worse, worst. Little becomes less, lesser, least. Much, more, most in terms of quantity. Many, more, most in terms of number. Late becomes later, latter, and this becomes latest and last. Old becomes older or elder, and the superlative becomes oldest and eldest. Far becomes farther and farthest. So this is about irregular comparison. Now let us do a small exercise on compare the following adjectives. Black, blacker, blackest. Excellent, more excellent, most excellent. Ill, worse, worst. Gloomy, gloomier, gloomiest. Mad, madder, maddest. Safe, safer, safest. Bad, worse, worst. Unjust, more unjust, most unjust. Gay becomes gayer and gayest. Able becomes abler and ablest. Dry becomes drier and driest. Severe becomes more severe and most severe. Now in these examples, like I had explained to you, where the positive ends in y, then what happens to the comparative? This y becomes er, ier, and in the superlative it becomes est. So dry, drier, driest. A few more examples. Exact becomes more exact, most exact. Agreeable becomes more agreeable, most agreeable. Difficult becomes more difficult, most difficult. Little becomes less, least. Few becomes fewer and fewest. Numerous becomes more numerous and most numerous. So these are a few examples of comparing adjectives based on regular comparison and irregular comparison. Hope you found this helpful, students. If you would like to see more such videos, please like, share and subscribe to my channel Easy Learning. I would be more than glad to help you.